Welcome to PAO Fans International. You're joined by Nick, Tom, and Panathafan. Welcome, gents.
Evening,
Evening
boys.
all.
Good to be
Now,
on and good to smile and good for the whole Silver to soak it all up. We
this
needed it.
episode could have been a lot more different. And we could have had me and yourself raging, and we could have had some voices of reason, but still disappointed. But it's rare. We're gonna do it with a smile this one. We're gonna do it with a smile, even though the first piece of reviewing isn't anything good, but for other reasons. Let's kick it off straight away. The first one, bulk in the Greek Cup, first leg at home, disappointing 1-0 loss, courtesy of a Yakumakis penalty, 66th minute. Just silly giveaway from Calabria. High foot makes contact. Didn't need to do anything there. He just needed to challenge for the ball. Didn't need to use his feet, and then just gives away a penalty. Boys, what did we think of this one?
Who wants to go first?
I can take it if you want.
Go for it, Nick.
Okay.
Uh, it was so deflating because this is our main stock, our main aim for this season. From the way it's panned out, unfortunately, is the cup. Uphill battle now, second leg, because of what happened in that first leg. That was a disaster. Our biggest game of the season to date, and they dished that crap up. It's absolutely mind blowing. The fact that we made it so easy for Bulk, that's what infuriated me. Bulk, to their credit, Lucescu as a guy, I can't stand. As a person, I think he's horrible. The little we see of him, but as a coach, I think he's outstanding. And what Bulk's biggest strength is not only their unity and togetherness, but out of the big four in Greece, he's the longest serving coach. And they've got their defined, their set identity, they're set in their ways. And for us, we're all over the shop in comparison, where Rafa tinkers constantly. So you got Mr. Tinkering on one end of the spectrum against a team that knows their roles inside out. Who do you think's going to win? And it's a miracle it only ended 1-0. Somehow we're still in it in the second leg. But the flip side to that is it's so frustrating that 1-0 came from a needless penalty to concede. That was infuriating. Then I guess it's already been spoken about already amongst the fan base where there was no passing networks, nothing anywhere other than Lafont being Vecati launching hopeful, aimless long balls up for the T to chase. What else did we expect?
I'm open.
I
Go, Tom. You go next. Go for it.
mine will be short and sweet. What are we 4 5 days since that game, and nothing positive to talk about it. I can't think of even a moment of positivity or a positive, I guess, a link up or anything like that. And Nicky said a spot on with Lafont. He had nothing. I think the lack of effort, the lack of, I guess, link up. I think the starting formation was wrong for start. It's what a golden opportunity at home, and I think. Gee, I can't remember. Well, Leo Photos, you know what I mean? Like it was pretty much full house. Yeah, disgusting performance.
Yeah, I'm not going to add too much either, other than the fact that I think Nicky summed it up well. And the Lafont to Tay sort of combo there is just shows how poorly set up that team was from a coaching point of view. So I think for me, I'm not saying anything that no one doesn't know anyway, but obviously put a lot of pressure on Rafa, and Rafa really had a lot to answer for, and the pressure was finally on him as a coach to deliver in the derby this morning. But that was an absolute disgrace in terms of how that team played against PAOK, thoroughly outcoached, thoroughly outplayed, and it just looked horrible to watch. Even though we conceded a penalty that shouldn't have been given. So it was a penalty, clear penalty, I'm not saying, but Calabria shouldn't have done what he did in the penalty box to earn that penalty. But we still should have lost anyway. So there's no denying the penalty itself and no denying the fact that PAOK deserved to win, and we just looked absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I was Yeah, deflated after that one. I think that was the one game that pretty much broke me. I went with a bit of confidence in that game. I thought no Delias, I thought he would be their game breaker. He's usually their game breaker versus us. I thought without him, we'd be able to nullify their creativity. They're just gonna go Zivkovic, and whoever was going to be on the left wing, whether it was Tyson or something. You're just thinking it was just going to be that outlet, and just quite simple. We'd be able to defend it. We'd be able to attack back. We couldn't even string two, three passes. It was just a horror show in terms of possession, just no clue what to do. I was just, yeah, to be honest, very deflated. We only really had that one chance, which their keeper just pulled off a absolute ripper save from their header, but there was nothing else about that. We were just really, really poor, especially in our home game. It's an uphill battle for the second leg, which we'll review shortly, but
You know what though, Sturge, the aftermath from this game. I've never seen anything like that. There's been some almighty meltdowns by the fan base, and yeah, as you'd expect, 16 years without a title, one of the biggest clubs in the country. But the aftermath of that game was like nothing I've never seen before ever.
yeah, yeah,
In terms of rumors, the whole Bakasetas ordeal, everything, the pressure on Rafa from the fans, it was insane. And Bakasetas is now he's become the new 40. I guess we can talk about all that. That's not on the whole Gligas and cracking it at him. For me, if you go and have a go at Bakasetas, your club captain, he's a small fry in all this. Players come and go. The one constant in this mess, this endless misery, this constant cycle of Khalya is the ownership. If you had the guts, if you had the archivia, go to the VIPs, the Epissima, and go carry on to the owner.
yeah. I think a lot of what's been happening will come to that as well. That yeah, a lot of the fan base is melting down. Obviously they have their reasons for melting down, but I think their anger is misdirected. I think there's a lot of conspiracy theories from their end, just having an outlet. But yeah, instead of conspiracy theories, let's talk facts. And facts are we beat Olympiacos 1-0 in their crappy, shitty suburb of a stadium there at Neofalido. 1-0 courtesy of an early goal from Taborda. I think it was like the 10th, 11th minute.
Seventh.
7th minute, yeah, sorry. 7th minute. It was just a really opportunistic attack where we had them in their half, which we struggled to get really a lot of possession in this game, and the ball fell to him. He did a really nice piece of skill dribble where he beat his player, laid it to Tete from the edge of the box. He continued his run. Tete found him with the pass. There was like a bit of a deflection, the ball lifted in his path. He still continues to run, the quickest to react to it, and then just slotted it in between Zolaki's legs, trickled in. There was a bit of confusement because referee sort of signaled towards the goal, but the linesman, I don't know, there was a lot of confusement, and then it finally got given. I think they just went to the VAR to just confirm it quickly, and that's all she wrote. And boys, let's go for it. Tom.
I'll go first. First thoughts, visually, it looked like we had a plan, I think, right from the start. I think the lineup was spot on. Actually, I was a little bit nervous with Shoppy starting, but he was just outstanding, I think. I think I don't know why, but outstanding. Defense is really solid as well. Palmer Brown, Ingerson, Jedve as well, good link ups. But just, I think the future of Andino and Borda up front, when that sort of just, I think it's going to create something special. And even dead out the front. And those three, like three blokes under 24, I think 23, 24 years old. And I think for the last whatever 2-3 years, it's I know like just get some fresh legs, young talent, and yeah, it's proven, right. And I think that definitely exciting. So hopefully exciting over the next sort of 12, 18 months. The subs are good. It would have been good to see Bandilidis come in maybe 10 minutes earlier for a bit more of a run. But yeah, just for once to see, I guess, effort, momentum, passion. I know the passion was on the group chats this morning, but it's I haven't seen passion for a while, and it's just really good to see. The early goal, I don't know, it had that last minute equaliser written all over it, and I think from previous performances we've been very unlucky, and that's how we've sort of gone out. But I think defence was strong. Very unlucky. Obviously, those two opportunities in terms of tap-ins that work both ways. But it has been offside. But I hope it's a glimpse of what we're going to see again the next 12 to 18 months. And I don't know, what a way to go into Thursday with that sort of performance.
I'm happy to follow on. I think Tommy made a great point about that front three and how young they are and the talent and the future of that front three for our club, which is fantastic. And maybe we'll add to that in terms of Jagasic, his 20 has just been signed. You add to that front three. And then in terms of who you got coming off the bench, you got Zaruri and Bandilidi, who I think they're both under 24, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So not only is that front three young, you've got the certainly on the wings anyway, coming off the bench, young as well. So if we can just make sure nail down that backup striker position as well. I mean, we got Buntovic. I'm not sure if he's going to be around for the long term though, but certainly we're stacking it up quite well. If I go to the flow of the game though, I mean, it wasn't a pretty game, but then again, derbies that never are. They're always going to be tight, and it's always about not conceding goals in the main. And I think we did that job perfectly today, as we touched on. For me, we'll talk about the Martins sitter that was missed by Olympiacos in front of goal. I'm actually sort of going to point out that maybe it wasn't as easy as what people think it was, because the ball was slightly elevated and it was at an angle to his body. It was coming in. Probably didn't position himself right. But I'm glad he missed it. I'll say that much. If I look at the miss by Bandilidi, I thought that was an easier miss. That was an absolute shocking miss, because that was at his feet and with an open goal. The ball was beautifully laid on the ground from the cross from Zaruri. How he missed it, do not know. But I'm not going to give him a hard time. I'm certainly not going to hold it against him, because then that offside goal he scored, I thought it was an absolute cracker, and it's an absolute shame that that wasn't 2-0. So full respect to him. He's only been in the squad for a month, and already he's doing some good things, and he's still got a lot of upside. So it's quite exciting. Overall, though, I think Rafa eased the pressure on himself, and I'm glad that's the case for the greater good of the team. There's been a lot of talk about playing for back three being what we should just settle with and stick with for the rest of the season. I'll wholeheartedly agree, and the results are there to show that. And considering the play of the game, I know that Taborda is in my background photo, and yes, he's become a bit of a superstar in the short term. But for me, I probably most enjoy seeing Conturi today play. And he's the one that probably excites me the most about the players we've got in the future, and what they can do to change this club around. So highlight for me there. Last point. For those who have listened to me over the journey, know that I always called out Yeremia for his goal to minute ratio over the journey. Now we've got Taborda. I think it's about one goal every 104 minutes.
Less. So, I think it's 50 something. I think it's way less.
Yeah, it's great. It's it's short, so let's hope he keeps it going. I mean, he's no striker, he's no Jerry, but at the same time, if he continues that, geez, he's made an impact.
Nick.
You guys all make some great points. I think the only thing I'll start with the only thing I disagree with, that out of everything you guys said, I think Gelson Martin's sitter was an easier one than our Bandilidis miss. That's like writing. It's for me. That's harder to miss it than score it. Whereas Bandelidis had Zvidetsky, it kind of get in the way as well. There was that confusion holding off, who's gonna put the ball in the back of the net. But you guys all make great points. If I take it from the back, the ultimate compliment I can give the coach, Rafa Benitez, in this game is how quiet our goalkeeper was, Lafont. And when he was called upon, he did his job, but they barely laid a glove on us, and that's mostly due to Rafa's tactics. The back line, as Panathafan was saying, that back 3/back 5 worked a treat. It's not a defensive formation because we were the ones that, okay, we didn't have much ball, but we still fashioned several very good chances in this game playing that formation. And yeah, credit to Rafa, but I'll also say Mendilibar underestimated us as well. So I'd say it's a mixture of both. Full credit, as Tom was saying, our back line, especially our three centre halves in particular, the way this game was officiated, our players constantly getting called for fouls and then the yellow cards, and then you got their players fouling and either free kicks not being given or yellow cards not being given. They were begging. That VAR was begging for the smallest, most minor opportunity to go to that monitor and give them a penalty or something. Full credit to our defenders, especially for staying alert constantly to avoid that scenario. Agree with Panathafan. Our man of the match in this one for me was Konduris. We found a gem. Like we all the hype was, for me anyway, at least, was Andino. And now more recently, Jagusic, where we're going to get onto another great buy, and then Tete. But Konduris has come under the radar. Oh, he's going to be hard to keep a hold of. The way his career trajectory is already heading, I hope we can keep him for the long term. But the Ethniki's already found a gem in that weakness, number 6/number 8 role. He's got the perfect game, and he suits us. He complements us to a T. His passing range, his passing accuracy, the way he reads the game, he's always in the right place at the right time, and he covers so much ground. He's got such a great motor on him. And a lot of the fans in Greece, like the talk with the cliques and all that, won't like to hear it. But Siopis, for me, was second best in this game. He was outstanding, and he's made for these high-intensity, high-pressure, high-stakes derby games. Phenomenal from Siopis, his best game in a very long time. And then the bright spots, the derbies, tactics are important, but they only take you so far in derbies. You need that bit of raw passion, that mongrel, that desire, the will to win, the aggression. Those two Argentines, it's typical Latin American. They possess that in bucket loads, especially Taborda. When he's on the field, he makes things happen. I'm not saying he should be our first choice, Vecari, but he's got to get more minutes. It's a crime the way he's being treated now by 3 coaches. He's got to get more minutes because when he's out there, things happen. It's not a fluke that the ball always falls to him. It happened against Roma. Opportunistic there. A bit opportunistic. Even in this one, I thought Zolakis really stuffed up. That was a bit of a goalkeeping blunder. He should have done better. If Lafont conceded that goal, I'd be fuming from him. But it's not a fluke. Even against Cavalli in the Cup, he made it happen. He won us the game back then as well. He's got he's got that knack. It's not a fluke. Then Andino, I think he's building himself up to full fitness. He's going to be a great asset for us once he's able to play the full 90. But we're already seeing his quality shine through, and he had that chance from distance as well. And this is the whole thing now. We've spoken over the last few seasons about our wings, the wing, both left and right wing positions. Now the depth is looking outstanding. You got Andino starting, for example, then you can bring Zaruri on. And they're all young, as you guys were saying as well. Then the opposite flank, you got Bandelidis, who's young and an eye for goal as well. And Pelistri when he's fit. Although I think Bandelidis, the way he's going, suits us more than Pelistri in this setup at the moment. And then Tete wasn't his best game, wasn't his worst game, but no one had a bad game. He was good. What do you expect when you go to Olympiacos away? Your striker's going to be starved of chances of possession. He put himself about. He was a presence up front. Subs came at a good time. If anything, as Tom said, could have come a bit earlier. But all in all, so ecstatic so pleased, so delighted. As I said at the top of the show, the whole Steelers needed it. Not only Rafa as coach, not only the players, the fans, the everyone associated with the club needed it. And that's now the fifth or sixth season in the regular season where we have not lost at that ground.
Yeah, since 2020. That's some stat. Look, I think everyone played great. I'm not going to fault anyone. I'm not going to give anyone ranking scores, anything like that, because everyone played great from Lafont positioning to Tete up front doing all the hard work and everyone in between. Everyone deserves the plaudits in this game because everyone worked hard. They were all gritty. They refused to lose. When you know we're showing as a team we refuse to lose like that passion that we did. But it's been missing. That's what's been missing. We've
Yeah.
been lackluster the past how many games. Um, Look, I think Midillibar got the tactics wrong for Olympiacos. I think especially at halftime when he took off Scipione, the field really opened for us and we were able to threaten a little bit more. We were able to show a little bit more. Even the build up for that Gelson Martin's missed tap in, there was a big foul that was done on Ingerson, which was not called. I think it was Podence that clearly pushed Ingerson out of the way and onto the floor, and referee just calls play on. I don't think the officiating was great at all, especially from the two linesmen that gave blatant um, throw-ins to Olympiacos, and one of them led to a big chance for them as well from that throw-in as well. So it was just some really obvious stuff that went missing. And Nick, as you said, and I agree, lucky there was no controversial moment, anything that needed to go um to VAR because I think it looked like something was gonna get called straight away. Yeah, Taborda, we're talking about him. He's the man of the moment. Scored in how many consecutive games? He's there. He's showing now what what he's a Alafuso signing, isn't he? So great scouting by Alafuso. So or Yanaros. He's just scouting guy. We've been missing the scouting department. We just need to ask Yanaros who these gems are. But look, I don't think he's the finished product yet. I think he's good. He's got a high level IQ and he shows that grit and determination similar to what Pelistri does, but what I think he's lacked was no preseason with us, so I kind of see him lack a little bit of explosiveness, lack a little bit of pace, and just a little bit of fitness. We're seeing him just completely gassed by that 50th, 60th minute mark. So, but he works really hard. He's really, really doing well. There was also a big moment in the box where he made a good final ditch tackle on Podence, who got clear of our defenders. And that was Taborda there as well. And that was when he was tiring. Um, the formation, it's like a 3-4-3. You can also say 5-2-3. It's a very, very well structured formation. Is that the way to go forward? Potentially. I think that back five, but we know it's likely Calabria will miss the bulk return leg due to injury. Let's see if he gets cleared enough to play. After that game, or during the game, he got taken to hospital for scans, but they've come back that he's all clear. Um, I think that's the way to go forward. It seems to me that with a sound defense, we're able to control the game a lot better. Even though we're starved of possession, that's because you got a guy like Siopis in your midfield. You're not going to get any ball play from him. You're going to get zero ball play. But what Siopis did well and what suited him was he just hunted the ball down non-stop, just worked, blocked, tackled, just did all the stuff Siopis does. Didn't need to do anything on the ball. That's not what you're going to get from Siopis. But I think the difference with the bulk and this Olympiacos game is we're starting 1-0 down, going to Tumba.
That's my
Like,
worry.
that's where
That's my exact worry.
we have to chase the goal there.
Exactly.
With this game, look, I think from the moment, the pre-game with the tribute for the fans that had passed away tragically that 40 odd years ago. I think I think that really, helped mellow down the crowd. Nothing really um too crazy from them. And then from there, just getting that early goal really shell shocked them. Um, Look, Andino, very good. He's showing a lot of good raw potential. Um, he's got confidence. I think what he needs is to refine his IQ, just make better decision making, and I think a little bit bulk up, a little bit more, just get used to that European game that's a little bit more demanding, just get some strength in his game. But um, he's a gem. He's a real gem. Um, but yeah, you asked, does Ballistri start play there? Or for the Taborda? It's interesting question, Nick, because you got two players that you're going to get two different things from.
Very
I
different.
feel. I feel like you're going to get two different things from Taborda at the moment is the man of the moment. It's hard to drop him. For me, Pellistri is the better player, but he's been more deployed a little bit more on the, like, more further out in the wing, while
Exactly.
this 3-4-3 seems to be more of the inverted wingers, just more coming in. So let's see if Pellistri going to fit there as well. But yeah, my favorite player has been Kuduri's for sure.
Yeah,
The left
definitely.
back. And it's going to roll into the next topic as well, talking about Kuduris, is how didn't Rafa pick him up in the Europa League squad? That's, for me, one of the biggest blunders and most questionable things. And prior to this derby, Rafa was skating on thin ice. A lot was being said in media by pundits that he was skating on thin ice. After the bulk game, he was 1 win, 4 losses in derbies. The 3 losses in a row, well, it's 4 losses in a row, but the last three, pathetic, pathetic. We hadn't scored a goal, and we should have been blown out more, especially bulk, both legs. If we had suffered a loss here, going up to Tumba would have been just daunting task in our form, and I probably would have thought Yanaros would have said, "Thank you for your time." There was a lot of chatter that it was heading towards that way, but Rafa just stuck to his game plan, stuck to his guns, and pulled off a win and prolonged his career at Panathinaikos. Um, what do you guys make of the whole Rafa situation? Because I'm quite critical on this piece.
I think we said it 6 months ago that it's never going to change overnight. And that whole rebuild stage was always going to take this season. I think it's going to be that trial and error. And we've seen a lot of error. We've seen a couple of good things as well. But I still, in my opinion, he needs to be, let him go for 12 months, show and see what he can do. And I don't know, we're seeing glimpses of, I don't know, molding a team together. I think the future, what the sort of, what I was saying before, the next 12 to 18 months, he needs time. And I guess it's been a long time as well. So there's a fine line, right? And what happens? Rafa goes and we start again. And then we might find ourselves in the same position in 6 months. And yeah, various opinions on Rafa. And I think time will tell. Let him run out the season. It's done. And yeah, see what happens after that.
and I'll let you guys speak after as well, Panathafan, because I know you're itching. But look, for me, I've been very critical. 4 months ago, when we announced Rafa, I did not like that move at all. I thought the games past him, his last four stints at his last four clubs ended very badly. I didn't think we were gonna be in a good position with Rafa coming in. He started off well, which is what typical Panathinaikos coaches do. They come in, we do well, we fall in love, and then we just start hitting rock bottom. And I think with Rafa, there's been a lot of players that rumored that they're not happy because a lot of confusement. There's a lot of rumors that he's making them watch tape 3 hours before a game. Can't verify if that's true or not. It's just being put out there that players are unhappy at the training, or yeah, just the tape, the constant changing of players' positions, and not keeping a really stable team. Um, Look, I think this derby saved him. I don't know how long, if we can continue this, I obviously want him to succeed, because if he succeeds, that means Panathinaikos is succeeding. So obviously, for the sake of Panathinaikos, I want us to do well. So I'm hoping that we can continue to get results and show positive play, because the last few games, Atromitos, PAOK, we showed zero. I didn't know what I was watching. I don't know what the game plan was, what the tactics were. What he said, both of those games that we played absolutely horrendous, was, oh, we played better in the second half. Mate, what about the first half? There's two halves in fucking football. Play good the full 90 minutes. That was my gripe with him when he says stuff like that. So look, at the moment, Rafa's bought himself some time. I'm going to be still supporting the team, supporting Rafa, but I just don't know how long we can continue this. But not the fan. Go.
Uh, 2 points for me. Firstly, in regards to the non-selection of Gonduri for the European list, I think it's an absolute clear mistake, no question about it. And I'm certainly not on my own. I know, Serge, you're very clear on that point too. But from what I read online, there's multiple parties, even some of the paid journalists. So the journalists are on the Bayer payroll who even come out criticizing that decision, and that says it all, doesn't it? When a very own Alafuza paid journalists are coming out being critical of the non-selection of Kunduri on the European list. The only semi-logical explanation I can come up with, which doesn't mean I agree with, but the only thing I can think of is that by selecting Hernandez, the left back, as a backup, that he's got concerns about the back line. I say that if we're going to be playing three in the back in Europe, which most likely we will, because that's what we've been doing, and if Tuba seriously unwell in hospital for a while, and Kyriakopoulos showing that he's injury prone, that he's selected a player that can only be a backup for Kyriakopoulos as a left back, but can also play as a left-sided defender as well. So probably giving him versatility in two spots, not one, as opposed to the midfield where, look, still was the obvious choice, but that's the only half-decent explanation. I, for one, would love to see Rafa at least see out the year, because then if we sack him, it'll be 4 coaches in one season, which is just ridiculous, unacceptable from a club management point of view that can allow that to be even the case. But in saying that, am I impressed by Rafa? No. And the thing is, the way we've been playing has been horrible. Today is probably the first time I've seen us be effective. Outside of that, though, what's going to be the telltale sign is that we've seen what style the club plays well in, and that is obviously 3 at the back. We've talked about it already. If he starts experimenting with structures of 4-4-2 and who knows what else he's going to try, in upcoming games, that to me is going to show that as a coach, he doesn't see the forest from the trees as to what works. So if half the Panathinaikos world can see, well, not half, the majority can see what works, and he's going to then not accept that, just tinker and tinker and tinker, then for me, he's lost me.
Nick.
It's in our best interests. He does succeed. We can't afford another huge payout. We can't afford for the merry-go-round to continue. We need stability. We need stability urgently. But at the same time, it's what Tom was saying, the fine line between you got to give him time, which I agree. And the sentiment, he said it now numerous times, and I hate it when he comes out and says it. There's no pressure to win games. That's not what you want to hear if you're a fan of a club, one of the biggest clubs in Greece that hasn't won a title now for 16 years. You don't want to hear that. I get the sentiment because he's still getting his feet under the table. But when you keep saying it and saying it and saying it, it's like it's an excuse where we do need to see something, because when Rui came in last season, we saw visible, noticeable improvements. We saw a playing style and we saw a clear upturn in results. We're not seeing that now. Hopefully this win this morning is a beginning of the upward trajectory, the beginning of something special. And let's see. Hopefully we can I hope we find a way. I think we're up against it massively. I can't see us eliminating PAOK out of the cup at Tumba, but hopefully this gives him confidence. He needs it. The players need it. We'll see. It's that fine line between give him time, but we've got to see something. That's right. I'm caught. I'm not sure either which way it's going to go because it's risky. That payout is huge. Now he's signed his own players that he's brought in, like the likes of Sissoko. I mean, we talk about the European list and Konduris being left out. I reckon if he was fit, Sissoko would have been a guaranteed inclusion, which shits me.
Yeah. Look, with the win as well over Olympiacos, the chase for fourth is on. Olympiacos had
Definitely.
that shock loss against Orfi. We are 6 points behind them with a game in hand. I think we will overtake them. Olympiacos has a nightmare of a run towards the finish. While our one, we've done all our derbies where we've only got really artists at home, and that's it. Everything else is
I'm
fairly
not. I'm
fairly
not
okay.
tempting fate yet. I'm not tempting fate yet. We've got to find a way consistently to beat these low blocks now. Whether it's Yagusic, Andino, or someone that makes a difference. Let's see it first. But
But
you
yeah,
are right. In theory, we have the easier run home, and we've got a game in hand, and we have to play Olympiacos. I get it.
Well, we're playing in Livadia, which is no
Yes.
easy task.
No.
And that's a 6 point game, really.
Yeah.
yeah. So look, I think the chase is on, and I think it will be done. But they do have Olympiacos next as well. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Now, another striking topic, another hot topic, and it's really pissed me off, especially it's coming more from the Greeks in Greece. It is Bakasetas, the captain. A lot of conspiracy theories. So what happened was after the PAOK game or before the PAOK game, whatever, fans recorded themselves abusing him and then saying "Ramoti Naiksu." I think it was not good optics. I think it was absolutely poor. I don't think the fans should be going up to him and abusing him. They should be going to the VIP and abusing them, the Halafuzos and his lackeys. I did not like it. I think Bakasetas is caught in a conspiracy theory where he's got the player power, where he decides who's playing, um, which is definitely not the case. But I think we've seen it over the years. The abuse that mainly the Greek players cop. We saw it with Forty a couple of years ago. It was after the Artis game. I think it was after the Artis game, the draw where
Yep.
fans abused him, and the guy was having a good season, and he's like, "I'm playing on painkillers, like I'm giving it all. Like, what the fuck do you want from me?" They're just needlessly abusing him, and they're just abusing Forty. You just see it online, and I've seen it a lot, especially from the Greeks in Greece, where they will abuse the Greek players We've seen Bakasetas being the main source of their outlets. They're saying that he's not, he's only playing, Taborda's not playing because of Bakasetas. It's not true because three coaches this season said the same thing about Taborda. He's not ready yet. He's not ready yet. Taborda is playing. Do you think if Bakasetas had the player power that he would have not played in this game? Like, come on, just get off it. They talk about his quicker Siopis. Siopis, look, we know the limitations. Like, is like a little chihuahua that, just runs everywhere, anything. Like, the coach has trusted him to do a role to be a disruptor. Today, that role was effective. I don't think Bakasetas tells the coach we need one of those in the midfield because I hate watching them two play together in that midfield. But we're forced to be playing that combination in the midfield. And then even I saw Kyriakopoulos cop it. The guy came off like a 2 month layoff from bone bruising, similar injury what Nunn has, where he might be ruled out for the season. That's what Kyriakopoulos had, and he's copping abuse because he hasn't been fantastic. But the guy's just come back from injury. He's forced to play because we cut Mladenovic, and then they're just abusing him. Like they want to see that new Spanish guy that was had his loan terminated from Qatar or UAE. Like, come on. Like the Greek hate needs to stop towards the players. I think directed elsewhere. I don't think Bakasetas should be subject to the abuse. I think, yeah, Bakasetas hasn't been a great sort of contributor this season. I think in his first season when he first arrived, he was great under Terim. He really linked up with Forty, Bernard. He was goals, assists, everything. But the kind of game that Bakasetas plays is a player that is maybe 1 decade too late, his style of play. He's not suited in that formation where he's a traditional number 10 where he's going to create for you. He's probably more, I see him as a second striker, and that kind of doesn't really exist in today's game. And I feel sorry for Bakasetas because he's been, for us, like one of the players this season that has played quite a lot of minutes and being forced to play as that number 8 role as well, which obviously he's not suited to that, but he's doing what he does for the club. He does his defensive work well, and he does what's asked of him. So I just, yeah, I don't think he should be getting abused, but I'm also thinking I think it's best maybe for all parties. End of the season, we try find him the best package in terms of his next steps because I don't think he should be subject to abuse, but I think for his own well-being and I think the relationship is broken between fans and him, and I don't like the conspiracy theories online about him, the clicker, etc.
But is he a great captain though?
He's the only, apart from Ingerson, one of the only leaders, really.
And as much as you never condone that sort of behavior, right? Because I agree, like the rumors, that all that sort of stuff, the abuse that goes to players is not on. But, and this is the other side, but do you blame the fans? And you
That's
walk out of that stadium on Thursday night, Wednesday night would have been in Greece, and you get dished that sort of performance. You pay €150 to buy a top. Your memberships promise the world. Yeah, don't condone it, but I don't blame the fans sometimes either because it is. We all saw it. It's just absolute rubbish what we saw last Thursday.
But should he be the target of the abuse?
yeah.
Well,
That's the way Alafuzos likes it, though.
Because,
he's a captain.
yeah,
He's a leader.
he's almost the only leader because don't forget Ingerson was dropped under Rui, didn't feature a
Yeah.
whole lot under Contis. He's only really come back into the frame right now, and he's only now starting to get minutes. It was previously Duba and whatever pairing that we saw with Duba, whether it was EPB won that game, Jedvaj another game, Ingerson another game. So, and Ingerson's probably the only real leader on the field. Do we have any other leaders? Trivela, he was captain at Nons beforehand, but now he's injured, what, 2 months? There's not a whole lot of leadership there, and just because he is the captain doesn't mean he should be subject to abuse. Has he been a great captain for Panathinaikos?
Nah.
It's hard to say because he's not a Panathinaikos boy, but he's here now and he's amongst the chaos that has been brewed by Alafouzos. He's been in the chaos that's been formulated from what? Let's start three, what, 2.5 years ago, or just over 2 years ago when Jovanovic was sacked. That's when the chaos started. Papa Jim come in, undermine Jova, has undermined managers since, and just caused chaos. Players going, coaches being undermined. I think that's another reason why I feel like this is a conspiracy as well. It's
Yeah,
the coaches haven't really had a say on who gets to be signed, whatever. It's always been one guy that's undermined the coaches. So that's where the abuse should be. I don't think Bakasetas should be the subject of it, and I think given the circumstances, no, he hasn't been a great captain. He's been a captain. I think I'm not mad at that because who else would you put as captain?
I'd say though, and I know this is probably going to be a bit controversial in saying it, every sports club, whether it's football or otherwise, has got a few handful of fans. They're going to be doing idiotic things and finding scapegoats within the team when something goes wrong. Our club's no different, but I think every major sports club's got them. I think as a leader, you're going to have to stand up when times are tough and cop that and brush it off and not make a scene. I thought his reaction to the AOK comment from a random fan was wrong. I think as a leader and every player gets that social media training, publicity, PR training, how to interview training. And one of the things I'm sure they teach him is don't bite back to idiotic comments from random fans. And the fact that he did was a mistake. Yeah, he's human, he's emotional after a game as well, but all the advice and training he would have got was that's not the time to react, and he did. And I think unfortunately all that's done is multiplied, magnified the abuse that he's copped, which is again wrong. So I'm not justifying it all. But what he's done was a mistake in itself. And as a leader, he should have known better than to make that mistake. And unfortunately, it's come back to bite him hard, which again, I feel sorry for him if that's the case. But at the same time, his training would have been advising against that.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, as I said, he's a captain, he's a leader. He's not a Panathinaikos type material, but we don't really have a lot of leaders really there. Ingerson, who's only starting to find game time again. Who else? So, yeah, that's why I don't like the abuse towards him. And look, fans are going to disagree, whatever, but yeah, I'm just trying to give a perspective on why I believe I think just lay off him, and I just think let's just try and finish off the season and then take it from there.
I think that again, it's unfortunate he's copped it, and you shouldn't. But also, if you look at what else happened in the 48 hours after that loss to PAOK, where all sorts of stuff is popping up on the internet and social media. You got photos of Sissoko and Dessers at the airport, and everyone's going crazy about how dare they go on leave during the season, who allowed this, it's disgraceful, and none of these reports have been verified. And even if
The
they were to be,
Soko one was a screenshot from his Instagram story, which was taken live. So
Okay.
that one is valid. I'm not too sure how long the Desez one was because he's close to fitness. So I'm not too sure on the accuracy of the Desez one.
But what if the club, what if he turned around and said, look, I've got my grandmother, and I hope it's not true, but my grandmother's seriously unwell. She's on deathbed. Club, I'm not playing this weekend. Can I go see my dying grandmother? I think the thing the club would do is say, yes, go. And we'll keep it private because it's a private matter. So we don't know that stuff. So even if they were flying overseas, you don't understand, well, none of us understand the reasons why. And none of us know as to what the personal circumstances is. Or maybe that there's some sort of rehab treatment overseas that they're attending to that the club has recommended. So there's just too many variables unknowns. But I'm just picking on one of many, many different rumors or negative rumors that came up after that loss. And as Tom correctly pointed out, fans are fans. They're just letting steam off because they don't know how else to do it.
Yeah. But the trip is all about optics. It came out after the bulk game. It's all about the optics as well. The timing and the optics weren't great. And I agree with what you're saying. You don't know the situation, but it's just optics. It's just what we're seeing and how the fans are going to take it.
Had we won, had we won last Thursday, exact scenario, would we have that sort of media attention? Wouldn't.
I, I think yes. I think yes, because it's still not good optics because we'll talk about this will lead to the transfer window. So Panathinaikos in the last week, whatever, signed Musa Sissoko, the former Tottenham Newcastle player, played under Rafa at Newcastle, 36-year-old, came from Championship side Watford. Now, a lot of question marks came at that because Panathinaikos, and I think we've probably said it, the Americans said it, we needed a midfielder, number six, and we've gone and brought a 36-year-old for a band-aid solution who's apparently on a 1.5 year contract, not even a 6 month contract, um, and then gets injured at his first training session, and he's out 3-4 weeks. That's, there was rumors of Camara from the Belgian team, Charloy, whatever, however you pronounce it. Apparently, Rafa vetoed it for now. He didn't want that many players on his roster, but we signed 36-year-old, so it's not, you know, that's what pissed off a lot of the fan base. So that's where you get the whole conspiracy, everything like that. People just jumping, fans just clutching. Fans just want to go viral with their tweets, just put something out there. Ne re malaka gamay after the tweet. Ne. Ktipai kita posa likes. Just stuff like that. You get a lot of that. And you see a lot of that stuff because I read a lot of dumb tweets. Some people shouldn't be entitled to opinions on that site. So it's just crazy. But Sissoko was
I,
done.
I'd love to know, did the outburst post bulk, did that play in some weird and wacky / wonderful way? Did that play a part in this morning's reaction and win? Because they look fired up, our players.
Yeah.
We live on the other side of the world, and we can't escape the meltdown, the outburst. There's no way they escaped it. I'm sure they're aware of what went on after the game.
Yeah.
From
Look,
the Bakasetas thing to Sissoko to Rafa's future to the conspiracy theories. Even
I
though there's a
don't
conspiracy theory that he uses AI to pick his 11s, which is clearly false.
I don't look. Derby would have played the biggest part, playing and winning in a derby, but they'd want to back their captain. I think any sport you play in, whether it's professional, semi-pro, amateur, you always back your captain. You always go in and do it for your captain. So I would say there was a little bit of motivation there to do it, but just the derby and what was at stake, I think played a bigger part. In the transfer as well, we announced young Croatian hot prospect Jagusic from can't even Sloven something.
Slaven Belupor.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Thank you for saving me the hassle of trying to pronounce it and find it. 5.2 million with a 20% sell-on clause. Now, this one big prospect. He's already scored quite a few goals in Croatia and assists. He's plays the attacking mid slash inverted winger role, so similar to where Taborda plays. Um, Hot prospect coming out of Croatia. He's already on 10 goals, 7 assists, something like that, and they sold him for a club record. He was all but signed for Dinamo. He had agreements with Dinamo, but Dinamo went a really low ball and wanted to pay installments, and that's when his club said no, and then Panathinaikos came in and said thank you, and just came out with a bigger offer, which that got done pretty quickly. It was all but done with Dinamo, but they really fumbled that to our gain. So, and he was already named on the bench straight after we signed him. So, um, there must be big raps on him. Now, there's someone's put a compilation video of his package, 8 minutes or something. It's on YouTube. Looks very impressive. Looks very impressive. So, look, the team is building nicely. A young future, which, hey, what I've been saying the last 2, 3 years since podcasts and tweets and anything, we got to get younger. We got to get younger. Stop signing these free agent donkeys from Watford and from Romania, Poland, anything like that. We just got to get younger, get some talent coming through. So hopefully these play out. Also, a little bit more on the departure side, Mladenovic had his contract terminated. He's found the club Turkey, but Mladenovic, look, there was once again the idiots on social media saying, good riddance, whatever. But Mladenovic played almost every game last season because Max was always injured or inept. We had some really fantastic memories with Mladenovic, and that's what he should have been remembered for. This season, he probably knows that he fucked up quite a bit, penalties, whatever. He's 34, 35, whatever he is. But look, I think it was best move for both us and him to continue his career elsewhere. But he was a great servant. Like, he gave us great memories. Marseille away, one of the coldest pictures, just fingers in his ears in
Yeah.
front of their fans. Even the Atromitos in that cup where he scored the last minute goal to give us the progression as well over Atromitos, the year we won the cup. So yeah, he scored some important goals as well. So I think, yeah, once again, just idiotic fans just need to stay off social media. Don't have opinions if they're going to be shit like that. Just congratulate him and farewell him. Have I missed any other final signings? It was just them two, wasn't it? Andino was already covered by the
Yeah.
prior.
I think even Sissoko was covered. Oh, I was shocked with deadline day. All the talk was leading into it that we'd get an Exati, a defensive mid. There was a talk of Arriaga. I thought we'd either get him or someone else. Then we'll link with Jagusic early doors in the window, and then out of nowhere we got him.
Yeah,
And then there was out of the two, I thought we'd get Fruk, although Jagusic looks like he has the highest ceiling, so the highest sell on value. So I prefer him. Not that I watched the Croatian league, but it's what you said. His highlights look really good. Like
yeah.
some of his goals from top draw.
I think with Frook though, his agent was playing the game, shopping him around, trying to get best value, highest contract for him. He was being shopped around, and I don't think that anything was ever going to happen with him. I think the Jagasic, the situation there just worked out better. Obviously, with Dinamo fumbling it, just allowed us to swoop in. Um, I don't know if Frook was ever going to be likely. There was close to like a 10 million offer that they wanted, and the agents were clearly shopping around, and even going to MLS. They were talking about MLS, etc. So I think I'm glad just staying away from dirty agents like that. They can really ruin a player's career.
The football director for Dinamo, which is the legendary Zvonimir Boban, who played for AC Milan back in the day, he got absolutely pummeled by the Dinamo fans after we signed Jagosic. And just the amount of abuse, who is a legend of Croatian football, but the abuse he copped just because he missed out in that signing was interesting. And for me, it was certainly confirmed that Croatian followers of the game were very disappointed that he didn't sign for Dinamo. So early signs are good.
Yeah. So look, with this window, there was a really good young core and a pensioner signed. So really shows that we're building something for the future.
It's probably worthwhile pointing out that, and look, I'm not happy about the way the transfer season finished, and we should have signed another player for sure. And I know there's a lot of rumours about Camara for the midfield role from Charleroi. And there's rumours that he asked to be guaranteed European football and he was told no, and that's why he pulled out. There's rumours that Rafa said no more. So there's a whole lot of rumours and it's hard to tell what's true and what's not. But we did sign two number sixes though. I think we lose sight of the fact that Gonduri was signed by Cozzoli.
Is
As a,
Kunduz the sixth? He's one of
Eight,
those. I
eight
feel like he's
slash
more than
six.
eight, yeah. But
He
he's
can
just
do
being
both.
dropped down into the six, yeah.
He can do that. And
Yeah.
yes, we agree that Sissoko is underwhelming to say the least, but we have signed two midfielders, which if you said before the transfer season started, would we be happy with two? Then the answer is yes. But the question is, are we happy with the two we've got?
One very happy and the other one no.
Yep.
Yeah, look, but we do know that Rafa has the final say on transfers. That is known. No PAO coach in the last 3, 4 years have had that power. Um, let's change course now with the upcoming game. So we did talk about this one a little bit, so it'll probably be a quick topic. It is the second leg of the Grey Cup, PAOK away in Dumba. Not an easy task at all. We're already 1-0 down. Do we know if Kostandelias is fit for this one or he's still out?
Haven't heard. Haven't heard.
No,
Haven't heard.
better that he's out to give us from a 1% to maybe a 3% chance of getting anything up there. But look, I honestly thought we'd win that first leg, and I said we're going to win the cup. So I own that, and I thought by winning that first leg, we go to Dumba being able to defend it. But now we're chasing a result, so I think it's going to be interesting to see if Rafa's going to attack the game. He's not just going to patiently wait for his moments. Let's just see if he can attack the game and see we can actually hold out PAOK because PAOK is playing some really good football at the moment. Um, apart from being held to Artis, PAOK should have probably won that game in their Thessaloniki derby. I think they're one of the best teams that they're playing football. They're all just moving so well. So really tough task to go up there and come away with the win and progression. What do you guys think?
We need a miracle up there. But if this morning is anything to go off, there's a glimmer of hope. Before I had no hope, now I have a glimmer of hope. And I still think, regardless, we approach it the way I get it. I agree with you, Sturge, that we are chasing the game, and that's unfortunate. I'd still approach it the same way as we approached this morning, Olympiacos. I think that's the blueprint for these big games. Even though we're chasing, it's the blueprint for Zen as well in Europe, in the Europa League. This is how it's got to be from now on in these high-stakes games. Because realistically, if we can keep a clean sheet in this one, I do think one chance will fall to us. Then it's a matter of taking it and keeping the clean sheet, which is, again, easier said than done.
You keep the formation, but you obviously have to take out Calabria. I don't think Calabria
Of course.
will play.
Yeah, Bakasetas will come in. Probably changes on the wings as well because short turnaround, yeah.
Without sounding negative, we're renowned for showing a reaction after a poor performance and then reverting back the game after. I just fingers crossed this is a turning point. Yeah.
I think we discussed this last year or 2 years ago where we said it's the hope that kills us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always the hope that kills us. So yeah, look, that one is yeah, very difficult. Also, a few days after that, we will host Larissa in Athens in the Greek League. Let's see what Larissa team's going to come up. They're going to be determined to park the bus, determined to leave with a point, even if they can try and snatch a lead. Um, Look, it's now us to try and break down that low block that they're going to deploy. Important 3 points. If you look at the Greek League fixtures, it's we need nothing but 3 points from this one to keep pace. Um, let me quickly go through the thing. Olympiacos is hosting Olympiacos, so we need the Olympiacos to do us a favor. And there's also another derby, PAOK AEK as well. Not saying that we're going to catch them, but obviously with everything that's happening around, there's opportunity to just start closing some gaps, especially if we win. Just that little bit of pressure that we were able to put onto the front runners there, because them three are really fighting for the league. You've got Ike leading on 48, Olympiacos 46, Bulk on 45 with a game in hand. So while we're quite a few points away from that, it's, they drop points here and there. They just start worrying. So big game with Larissa, who their form has picked up a little bit. They,
Had a bad loss last round, but before that, they were very good.
yeah, they had 3 wins in a row. So they had a draw and 3 wins in a row. Who did they lose to?
Panathafan 4-1,
That's
dropping. Yeah, it came out of nothing though. I didn't expect it. Didn't see it coming.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, 4-1 at home as well.
Yeah, it's what you said. The onus is going to be on us in this one to break down that low block that they're going to come with.
Yeah. So there is what, 6 games to go or something. So 5 games to go. So
Yeah.
there's not a lot of room for error here. So that's the soccer talk. We'll switch course now into the basketball talk, and let's talk about the inconsistencies here. So there's a couple of games to discuss here. The first one is the Real Madrid game. That one was a thriller game where we won by one, 82-81. That one, uh, just EuroLeague referees. If you just watch the standard of EuroLeague referees, it's just shocking. We started off very slowly. We're down by quite a bit, 12 or something. And then we just started clawing back, clawing back. Big third quarter. Then the fourth quarter, we took leads. They came back, whatever. And then at the end, Hezonja hit a shot, and then somehow a foul was called, which I don't know where the whistle came from. It was just one of those ridiculous calls, and Hezonja, being a supposed Panathinaikos fan, just sell it like acting like he was the man, like he had just won the game, put them in the lead, and then only for Jerry and Grant to come make that big game-winning shot as well to secure the win. That was a huge win by a stand because Real Madrid started traveling very well, and then a few days later against a really lowly Partizan side, we got absolutely demolished. Um, it was by like 14 or something, 16, 78-62. So the shooting was way off. We kept it close only in the first quarter, and then from there, just went downhill from there. Just everyone was shocking. Like one of the third quarter, we finished with 9 points, and you're not going to win games by doing that. So it was a really poor effort um, in the basketball side. And then this morning, the team came away with a comfortable win against Katowice, where fans were there at that game, obviously having a chat with Gate 13 post game. So, what are your thoughts on any of the recent basketball stuff? Oh, you're on mute.
Thank you for the reminder. It was a bit of background noise. I did read something online, so I'm not going to take the credit for this statement, but I thought it was an interesting one that Panathinaiko is a bit like the Olympiacos in a football. And in the comparison is that they rely on two key players to score the goals, and we rely heavily on two key players to score the points. So obviously for us it's Nunn and Osman, and you take one of those two key players out and we struggle, and then the same for Olympiacos, you take their two key strikers out and they struggle to score as well. So um, that's enough for me mentioning Olympiacos, and apologies for that. But at the end of the day, I think it's apparent that there's no one else that can step up to cover none. TJ Shorts, he tries his best. Yeah, he has the odd good game here or there. Unfortunately, he doesn't come close to covering the void. We've got ongoing issues with our center position, or the number five. The Manimal started off strong, but he's faded big time. Yeah, we're still struggling in the number three position. So I think that unless we get none back, I can't see how we're going to cover that void. And I can't see how we're going to have a serious tilt at Final Four without him there. So I know that there's been talk of Ataman resigning after that shock loss against Adi from the previous week. I don't think that's going to solve the problem, to be fair, because I think if the way the team is structured and if the form of certain players, I don't think we've got massive upside in the short term. And it's sad, but I think I've accepted that we're not going to do much this year in Europe until we get our squad right next season, hopefully, and we get none back fit and firing, because he's the key to it all.
Yeah, well, dealt a blow in the transfer for Nigel Hayes-Davis. He got released from the NBA. We came with a bigger offer, but he elected to go back to Fenerbahce on less money. So that was a big blow to us, and DPG was not happy with that either. He took it to Instagram. So yeah, let's see if we are gonna still try in the market to sign someone. We're obviously really stretched at the moment, especially in the bigs and the number three spot. So it's going to be interesting if we can get one in.
And we keep hearing about Lasor coming back. I've been hearing about for months now that he's fit again, and he's training, and he'll be back soon. And as the weeks go by, I keep thinking, okay, when is he coming back? And as I sit here right now, I haven't seen the latest reports to tell us when he's coming back, but doesn't
I
look
don't
like.
think it's this
Yeah.
season. It doesn't look this season.
So it's two full seasons out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And one really asks the question, how much can he do being off for two whole seasons? So I think we really got to consider what we're going to do in that position.
exactly, exactly. And look, it doesn't get any easier. What's coming up in the EuroLeague? We're hosting first place Fenerbahce. In a crucial game because at the moment we're sitting eighth in a congested ladder. Um, Fenerbahce is two games clear of second place as well, so they're playing amazing. And now the way we're playing, the unpredictability, everything like that, most likely no none, or very, very unlikely no none with the bone bruising. It's Friday night Athens time, Saturday morning Greece time. It's that's also, again, a big, big ask because Fenerbahce is obviously at the moment the best team, the best coach team as well under Saras, who I was hoping we would get, but has re-signed an extension with them. So yeah, let's hope for the sake of both organizations we get the win there as well because no doubt OAK is going to be rocking, but I think there's going to be a lot of doubt as well, giving the
The other
tough
thing,
on hand.
the other thing that concerns me too is that when we won the EuroLeague 2 seasons ago, you had none great form. You had Mitoglu playing well. Obviously, Lesor was absolute star, but more importantly, Kostas Lukas was still prime, and he still pulls in great performances. He still is what I'd call a true captain in some of these performances, but yeah, age has to be wearing him down, and that's the concern that as we're heading to next season, he's only going to be 1 year older and 1 year into the wrong side of 30. And yeah, we really need to start thinking about what this squad looks like to support him.
You're on mute there.
I was going to say, yeah, you're right in that. But apart from that, yeah, I think we're heading towards the just the end of the pod. Do you guys have anything news, anything you want to discuss before we wrap it up?
Not really. I'd say find a way to win at Tumba first and foremost. Build on the positives, build on this morale boosting win, and hopefully things can turn around ASAP in the basketball. Because our run in the basketball, but now I think you said it, Serge, between now and the end, it's against teams all around us. So let's hope it's positives for both Tmimata, and a shout out to the under 19s side that beat Olympiacos as well.
Yeah, yeah. 2-0 there. They were equal. We've, keeping pace with PAOK, who are 5 points clear. But, if you look at other results this morning, we had wins across all board through various
The
sports.
Yes, the women's basketball though lost their first leg in their European clash, so they're
Yeah.
going away now with a deficit.
But yeah, mostly good results there as well. And even I think yesterday or 2 days ago, the women's ping pong team beat Olympiacos as well. So yeah, puts it to them across all sports from us. So massive ones. Yes, you heard right, Panathafan, and yes, I kept tabs on it that the women's ping pong team did beat Olympiacos. So always good to beat them. So
Oh, always good to share those sort of stories. I've got no problem with that at all.
yeah. So
I might just finish off one other quick stat that apparently in the last 10 games at Gavroi, we've won five and drawn three.
yeah,
So,
yeah, in
yeah.
the regular season, yeah. So some really good results there. It's almost like our second home ground with that, gents. Let's wrap it up there. Always a pleasure. Fans, listeners, thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, comment, whatever. Give us your thoughts on the Bakasetas and the Rafa thing as well. Would be keen on hearing any other perspectives. As always, thank you. Have a good night.